Hi, everyone. Let me speak immediately about what's happening in Iran and Israel and the Palestinians. If you're looking at those videos and looking at that situation and you're going, oh my God, especially the Iranian war that's after starting, and you go, oh my God, what'll happen? What'll happen? They have won. They have won, if that's what you're thinking. You're not awake as you think you are. You're being distracted from what's really happening. And your mind has been taken off, your focus has been taken off what's really happening. What's really happening? Ascension is what's happening, and they know it. This is their last gasp, but it won't be successful. Years ago, I was speaking with Yeshua. It was a good friend of mine, by the way, a very, very good buddy. And I asked him, I said, what's going to happen with the world? And I said, is there something going to happen with it? He told me that there will be many tribulations, but the world will not be destroyed. And I always remember that when I had my conversations with him. I remember him telling me that. There'll be many tribulations, but the world will not be destroyed. And I go along with that myself. The world will not be destroyed. There will be no nuclear war. There may be wars that are local, and they may be tempted to use the smaller nuclear bombs, but it'll be kept local if that actually does happen. But I have my doubt that it will. But there will be no third world war involving nuclear bombs. That is forbidden, extremely forbidden, verboten. It will not be allowed, and I'm telling you this, it will not be allowed. The world is not yours or theirs to destroy. But they're doing everything to have it happen. Have you ever heard of Armageddon? I haven't heard it too much. As a matter of fact, I haven't heard it at all on social media. No one is speaking about what is really going on. I spoke about it in my last video, that history is repeating itself regarding the Israelis. Armageddon. Where is Armageddon? Where exactly is this? The Valley of Armageddon, or the hills of Megiddo. Hills, Armageddon, or the Valley of Armageddon, is in northern Israel. Coincidence? Coincidence? You know what I think a coincidence? Ain't no such thing. And it just dawned on me there now when I was saying it. Oh, hang on a minute. This is no coincidence. Is this what they're trying to do? Start Armageddon? I believe it is. This is their last shot. This is their last shot. Now, you can see the deep state and the players that are very, very active in the deep state, they're standing out now, they're coming to the fore. They're very, very easy to pick out. Okay? That is what is going on. Israel is trying to take over all countries around them, as they were ordered to do thousands of years ago, well before Jesus. Back in, who was it? Abraham's time, I think it was. When what's his name? Oh, bummer. Oh, sorry about that. Couldn't happen at a better moment. So do not go into fear. Do not go into worry or anxiousness. Just say, it's not going to happen. That is all you have to do. It's not going to happen. And just stand back and observe. You may not like what's going on, but don't go, oh my God, what's going to happen? We're all doomed. If that's your thinking, they have won. Because that is exactly what they want you to think. Your attention is no longer on Ascension. Your vibration is no longer up there. And your consciousness is no longer up there. It's now down here. You see what's going on? They're bringing you down. That is their objective. They don't want you going nowhere. Understand that. That is what is going on. It's not nice, especially what's going on in Gaza. Whoa. By the way, many years ago, a long, long time ago, I had a dream. That's like the song, isn't it? I had a dream. Anyway, and I was down in their hell. I paid them a visit, actually. I went down into their hell, the hell that they have created for themselves. That's who hell is for. They created their own hell, and that is where they're going. And boy, what a place to be going. I was glad to come back up out of that place. Whoa. Well, I knew where I was, and I knew what was going on, and I didn't like it. The smell down there was absolutely atrocious. You can still smell it. There was no fire. This was worse than fire. But this is what they have created themselves. And I was watching them descending down. This is where they were, this is where the DS is going. And Gabrielle, I'm telling you that this is where they're going. Down into the pits of hell. But there's no fires, not in the hell I saw. And this, I didn't create it. The Creator didn't create it. They created that themselves with their own, devilment. Their own devilment. They created it. And it's not in this world. Their hell is not in this. There's no hell in this world, by the way. That is somewhere else. So yeah, they want you thinking about the war and the bombs. Not nice, but this is their last hurrah. Think about that. Once this is over and the earth has cleaned herself, got rid of this darkness, which is happening, The earth is being affected, but everybody is waiting. When I say everybody, up there, they know this is the grand finale. I know there's a lot of people dying and there's bombs whizzing about all over the place, but you are witnessing the end. Isn't that something? And as I'm on the subject, I spoke in the last video about where I was levitating and people were pulling me down, and where I was in the truck, and I had a lot of people in the truck. And what was happening, this was many, many, many years ago, and what was happening, and I didn't realize at the time, was that when I was being pulled back down, I wasn't supposed to elevate. Not just yet. I'm here to help people, but we will levitate later on. Okay? That is coming very, very shortly. That is coming. I am helping, and I will help. I'm helping actually in more ways than one. Because of my presence here, I'm helping the entire planet. A bit of a responsibility, isn't it? I'm glad I didn't know that a couple of years ago. I'd be, but now it's okay. I can handle it. So yeah, now there are signs if you're awake and observant. And one of the signs is that you might find yourself being separated from those you are close to. People who you are close to now, you might find suddenly you're kind of stepping back from them. Now, Jesus spoke about this, by the way. He says, father will fight son, mother will fight daughter, daughter will fight sister, brothers fight father. And that's what he was talking about. He said, I haven't come here to unite. I've come here to divide. They're his words. And that is what he meant. That in these times which are here now, some will ascend, others will not. But don't be attached. Everybody will look after themselves. Their sole purpose is already there. You can physically catch someone and say, I'm going to get you up. No. Leave that to them. Help in any way. Be very subtle about it. And it is a huge responsibility. Well, boy, it's a huge responsibility. But watch out if you find yourself suddenly at odds with those you are very close to. Maybe not all of them, there may be one or two within that family who you're suddenly, could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be your son, it could be your daughter, it could be your brother, it could be your sister. You find yourself suddenly having differences with these people. That is a real sign. Another big sign is the sun. You are connected to the sun. You're not separated from the sun. Let me put it that way. You are connected to the sun. The sun is a star, and that's what you are. In the law of one, they said the sun is sublogos, but you are sub-sublogos, still a logos, still an individual. You're the logos, you're the star, an almighty, powerful being. Let that one sink in for a while. But where's all this power coming from? How will I get this power? If that's your attitude, I want this power, you'll never get it like that. Okay? You've got to be gentle, loving, and kind and forgiving. Everything comes with love. You've got to step into it. Because as soon as you step out of it, love is gone, fear is in. This is why at the very beginning of this video, I said, if you're going to fear and go, oh my God, what's happening? And you're anxious and you're going to start the war, that's fear. You're no longer in love. That's not love. Fear has come in, love went out. You can't have two. They don't exist together. One comes in, the other goes out. You need to hang on to love. Forgive people. Be kind to people. Help people. Smile. Even do the smallest things, even a smile. The smile works wonders. You just look and go, hi, hi. I just smile. The help that you'd have to give that person that you smile at is out of this world. Yeah. We're coming to the end of the road. And you can see it all around yourself. What the sun is doing, what's going on with the wars. We are at the end of the 26,000-year cycle. We are at the end of the precession of the equinoxes, which comes around every, I think it's 25,000 some odd months, years. But I just said 26 to even the number out. And that's here now. The cycle is completed. It's gone right around the full cycle. And we're back where it originally started. The cycle is complete. So what are you doing here? They're not supposed to be here. They're supposed to be gone now. So Jesus spoke about the harvest. The harvest is great, but the laborers are few. The laborers, you're very, very few. And if you're sitting on your ass going, oh my God, that's not exactly helping the situation, is it? But I believe in Jesus Christ. He's going to save me. No, he's not. And I keep saying this. What's coming in is the Christ consciousness. It's the consciousness, the Christ consciousness. It's what's coming in. And when the sun gives the flash, you better be ready. The sun is given small solar flares every so often. Solar flare. They're all affecting you. It's helping you to raise you up. And the solar flares are getting bigger. It's lifting your consciousness up. If the sun didn't do that, and it came in one big flash, without no pre-warnings, let me put it that way, then no one survive. The bodies wouldn't be able to take it. But because the sun is pulsing out all the time, solar flare after solar flare after solar flare, it's affecting the earth. The earth vibration is changing. When the earth vibration changes in the earth and you're no longer compatible with the earth at the new vibration, and the earth has changed, but you haven't, you can't stay here. Okay? You can't stay here. You're on a completely different vibration. You'll just go bye-bye. I know there's a very, very well-known chap on social media, and I've been following him for quite a long time. And he's written a lot of books, and he has his show. I spoke about him in the last video. And I was rather surprised one day when he said, "Oh, the solar flash is gone. The solar flash is over." That was up in another system. It happened. Solar flash is gone. And I'm saying, what the hell? Just what I talk about. And that was his mantra for a while. Solar flash. Solar flash is in another system. It only just happened. So I said, "Oh, that's nice. So what was Jesus up to when he came here? What did he come here for? What did he go through all his suffering for? If there's going to be no harvest. Harvest. So you just look at it. If you say you follow Christ, I don't know why you're following him too, but you say you follow Jesus, look at his words, understand what he says. That's the big thing. Understand what he was talking about. He's talking about the harvest. The law once states and says harvest also. And harvest happens at the end of the 25,000 or the 26,000 year cycle. We're just at the end of it. I think we're maybe slightly gone past it. That's how close it is. So don't be going, "Oh, Jesus saves me, Jesus saved me." It's the consciousness, Christ consciousness. Not Jesus. He did his job. He brought his consciousness in with him. And from that, it grew. That was his job. Job over. It's up to you now. There's nobody out there coming to save you. By the way, the ships are out there. I've seen an awful lot of ships. I've seen fleets coming and going. Fleets, I don't know, 12, 10, 11, 12 ships flying in formation. I've seen them. I've seen a lot of them at night. I've seen well over 100. I would say closer to 200, but that might be, you might think I'm pushing things a bit. But yeah, I've seen an awful lot of ships. I've dreamt about a lot of ships where we were interacting with ships. So interesting times ahead. Do not let the fear of wars bring you down. They do, if you do come down like that and go, what's next, what's next, what's happening? Be aware of what's happening by all means, but just go. It's almost over. It won't be long now. It won't be long. And the deep state, the evil, will be going bye-bye. They'll be going bye-bye. They're in the last throes of death. They'll be gone pretty soon. I'll finish up on this. And I said it on one of my videos, one of my last videos I did a few years back, where I had a conversation with the Creator, who I call my father. And it just kind of hit me. Let me ask you, as I have your attention, what was the purpose of creating humanity? What's the objective, really? Why did it happen? Why did you have that happen? All right, what he told me, and I was going to keep it to myself at the beginning because I thought like it was a private conversation. And he says, the reason mankind was created is that they will become ambassadors, universal ambassadors, who will go to trouble spots where there's wars, disputes, and the humanity, the human race, the human people, the human being will go there and mediate. But in order to do that, you got to leave everything behind. What you're experiencing now, you remember. Okay, but you got to clean yourself. You cannot bring all that anger and hatred and everything with you. So you go through a period of cleaning. Let me put it that way. So the end result is you and others, humanity, will become universal ambassadors for the Creator. Now, that is a pretty hefty responsibility to be given. But you got to move on. But you'll never forget what has happened down here. You'll never forget that. And that is the experience that you will bring to each trouble spot that you go to. You will be representing the Creator. There's no more ego. You are at a completely different level when you visit all trouble spots, all where there's outbreaks of war or threats of outbreaks of war. Once you come in and you will mediate between both sides and bring peace. Now there's the word, peace. Because you have learned you've learned what war is. You know what all of that crap that's going down here is. You don't want it for anybody else. You want nobody else to go through what humanity has gone through down here. This is your learning. This is your school where you will learn and you will ascend. But you got to ascend without your ego is gone. The ego is gone. You leave all that down here. You leave all that crap down here. But you need to start now. You need to start now. And you will keep going up the different levels. You are now in the third dimension. You'll go to fourth, and then fifth. In each dimension, there are 7 notes, just the same as the chakras, even though there are more chakras, but mainly the 7. So you start off with 3. Where in the third dimension are you? How high up the scale are you? Before you get to the octave, the 4th octave? How high up in the 4th octave will you stop? That your consciousness will bring you along like a bus until you come to your stop. So I get off here. This is where I get off. Somebody else might say, I'm going further on. So everybody will get off at their proper stop, where your consciousness brings you, where your light and your love moves along and then comes to a stop. This is where I get off. Other people who will go on, maybe higher up the 4th on the scale, and then go until they reach the 5th octave. Now, where in the 5th are they going to stop? If you say, well, I'm going to go up to the 5th and go to the highest in the 5th, that's bullshit. Stop thinking like that. When you come out of here, when you start thinking from here, from your heart, this is where your love is. Okay? When you start thinking from here, your whole world changes. Everything changes. So, once again, I am helping people to ascend. Okay? That's my job, is to help you. There's no point in me just ascending on my own. I was already up there. What am I scooting off again for? But I came here to help you. My presence, my very presence on the planet is affecting it. It's a presence is like an anchor, like the middle of a spider's web, in other words, where everything, where the middle of the web is kind of holding everything together. But yet, however big the web is, there's one center, and that holds everything. Okay, that's my job. That's my job. Now, what's to say Gabriel about? By the way, it's not Gabriel, it's Gabrielle. And it's not Michael, it's Michael, not Michael. Funnily enough, my niece, she's married, children, and one of her children, Michael was having a chat with very, very often. He'd come into the bedroom and he'd start chatting and, you know, having a good time with him. He was only a young child at the time, but he remembered it. And when his mother, my niece, would say, "Who are you talking to?" He'd say, "Michael." And she'd say, "What?" "Michael." And he always called him Michael, Michael. And he kind of put a hoarse voice on him. When I heard that, I knew straight away who it was, but she didn't. And that went on for quite some time. Now, it only dawned on me the other 2 days ago that when I went to visit her, she has both Michael and Gabriel in the house. So, is that a coincidence? Is that a coincidence? So, yeah. How do I know him, Gabriel? Where does Gabriel come into this? Gabriel is my higher self. I am my higher self. My higher self is me. My higher self is Gabriel. Gabriel. I'm getting started on myself. There was no separation between me and my higher self. It took me a while to understand that. But you're the same. People are the same. You've all got higher selves. Okay? Whoever your higher self happens to be is you. You are your higher self. Your higher self is you. There is no split. Okay? So now you're wondering, who's my higher self? Who's my higher self? I don't know. That's for you to find out. But my higher self is Archangel Gabriel. I am Archangel Gabriel. And with that, I am saying goodbye.